Hi guys! I wanted to share my favorite books of 2015 so far with you guys. This was a Top 5 Wednesday topic a couple weeks ago, and I really liked watching everybody's favorites, and I thought it would be really fun to share with you all my favorites. I think these are like the best videos to get like the best book recommendations from, because you really see what people love the most. I have my top 5. I've only read I think like 16 or 17 books this year, which has been really slow for me. I've been slacking major. I do have some really good ones, so I'm excited to share them. Starting with number 5, I chose Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, which was so good. I've become a new Colleen Hoover fan within the past year. I've only read this one and maybe Someday by her, but this one by far is my favorite of hers. This one is about a girl and a guy who basically agree to be friends with benefits, and they both say they're not going to want a relationship, they're not going to get attached, and things kind of go differently than they planned. The characters are really good, they have great chemistry, and I love Colleen Hoover's kind of like writing style, so I definitely recommend this one if you're looking for a good kind of like easy, fast-paced read. My number 4 is a series, but I only pulled the first one, and that is the Crossfire series by Sylvia Day. This is kind of interesting because I read these books a couple months ago and I liked them, but I gave them all 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't really think that they were 5-star books for me, but ever since I finished the 4th one, all I can think about is when the 5th one is coming out. It's supposed to come out sometime this year, and I've been waiting for them to release the date and the cover, and I have just been thinking about these characters so much, and I really liked this story. These are very similar to 50 Shades of Grey, and I knew this going into them. These don't have as much of like the Red Room of Pain type of stuff as those do though. This is more just about like the characters having like a relationship that's mostly normal with the exception of like personal issues. So I kind of just was like, oh, these are good, but they're kind of the same thing. I felt it deserved a spot on my list because I actually really like these. The more that I think about it and I think about the characters, I like miss reading these books. Number 3 is hands down On Dublin Street by Samantha Young. Oh my gosh, you guys, this book was so good. This book took me by surprise like no other. This is about a girl and she's living in Scotland. She's been living there for a couple years now. Lost her entire family to a car wreck when she was younger, so she lives on her own and she really has nobody like in her life that's like family anymore. So she's very guarded. She's afraid to get close to people because she fears she'll lose them, and moves in with a new roommate and ends up kind of forming a relationship with her roommate's brother, and it's just so good. I really like this one because it's what I love about a new adult. Like, this is like my favorite type of new adult romance, I guess I should say. It has a really good chemistry between the characters. It has great romance. It has all of that kind of stuff. But it also has like underlying deeper issues. I like books that have more substance to them, not just, oh, like, you know, there's these two people, you know, whatever. If you haven't read this one, you need to read it. Okay, now we're down to the really good stuff. So number 2 goes to The Sweet Evil Trilogy by Wendy Higgins. Blown away by this series. I had heard this was really good, and so I picked it up, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. This is a paranormal romance about angels and demons. I had never read any angel type of books before this one, but I loved it. I did a book review on this, so I'm not even gonna try to explain the plot because this is kind of complex. So if you want to see my book review, I'll put a link below, but you should check this out. If you like young adult, like paranormal romance, I kind of even classify this as fantasy, even though it's not technically. But if you like anything like that, I think you'll love this. And then the very last book that I have is my number 1 favorite, and coincidentally, this is also the first book I read this year of 2015, so that's exciting. But that has to go to I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I was not expecting to like this book as much as I did, and I feel like I've said that about a couple of these, but I bought this. Okay, when this book first came out and was like really popular on BookTube, I wasn't that interested in it. I didn't think like it sounded that good, and then I saw it in person and I liked the cover, so I cracked and I just bought it because I thought it was really pretty. I am a sucker for a good contemporary book, so I bought it, but I wasn't expecting to like it like I did. Just don't even know where to begin with this book. I would put this in my little cloud of books that are just a little bit more special and a notch above all of the other books. So this book is about two twin siblings, a guy and a girl named Noah and Jude. Were really, really close. They did everything together. And one day their mom dies in a car wreck, and it sort of just shatters their world. They kind of grow apart, and then as they kind of age and get older over the years, they both kind of face their own problems and internal struggles and things that they have going on in their life. And so this book is about both of their stories, and then it kind of puts them back together, and it's really, really great. It has a really good kind of moral message. It's very heartwarming. Really like the writing that Jandy Nelson has. She has like a very powerful, like moving writing style, but I also like the composition of the book because it's split between the two characters. It kind of splits the time lapse up. So Noah's kind of chapters are when they're both 13, but they're from his perspective, and then Jude's chapters are from when they're 16, so 3 years later. So you get to see about both of them at both time periods, and I love how Jandy Nelson did that. I think it's really, really cool. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful book. I love the way it feels and the way it looks. So those are my top 5 favorite books of 2015 so far. I would love to know what your all's favorite books are so far. So if you want to leave me some comments below, tell me what you've been loving this year, and I will check it out and try and read it. And yeah, if you did not see my last video, I did a new video on my bookshelves that I just got. I did a new organization type of video, which I had a lot of fun editing. So if you want to watch that and see kind of like a mini bookshelf tour, but more like me organizing the bookshelves, then I will put a link to that at the end of the video and below, and you guys should go check it out. Thank you guys as always for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to y'all very soon. Bye guys.